Anyway, thanks for joining us, audience here, which is always lovely to have these days. And all you people at home, thanks for watching. We have a fantastic show. Don't worry, the rest of these comics are way better spank material than me. So we have a hot lineup. I'm going to talk about a few things here at the beginning, though. Let's see. I'll tell you about my day. Oh, God, this was the worst. How was your day? Who cares? This is my day. Woke up this morning super happy, you know, always good to go in the mornings, made a huge breakfast, and then first bite, I bit my tongue so damn hard. Like, this thing would not stop bleeding. I was in so much pain. Like, I don't know how you bandage your tongue, but I was almost pouring liquid Band-Aid into my mouth, or candle wax, something. Something to stop it. Oh, it was horrible. I bit my tongue so hard, it was like it was in a rough sex. But it didn't like it, no. So that was horrible, horrible start to my day. So if you hear me talking weird, if I mess up some words, it's the huge tongue I have. My tongue is just as fat. What else? Oh, let's see. What else I got for you? Any married people here? Married people, I can't really see. Nobody? I always wonder, it's too bad because I want to find out. I love weddings. I love going to weddings. They're like my favorite thing. I love celebrations. But it seems like so much work, like all day for the bride and groom. I can't imagine, like you go through all day with the whole ceremony, photos, then the whole reception, then dancing, and then open bars and drink. How many married couples actually consummate their wedding night? Like, I doubt there's no way you have that energy. At the end of that night, you're going home, you're just passing the fuck out, and you consummate in the morning. That's what I can imagine, but I have no married couples here to actually back me up on that. I know I'd be out of energy, that's for sure. What else? I like to smoke a lot of pot. Anybody here smoke pot, at least? Oh, okay, there you go. That's better. More pot smokers than people who like love and marriage. So that's cool. That's my crowd. You guys came to the right show. Yeah, I like to get high a lot, especially during quarantine. I getting high a lot alone. And, you know, I get some thoughts in my head and I write them down right away because they're gone in a second like a dream. But I'll share a couple of them with you. These are thoughts I have. I like to call them ideas. So they're weird, they're out there, but think about it. Okay, here's one I was thinking about one night, just out of the blue. Got really high, hit a bong. And then I thought, man, why do they use clean needles for lethal injections? Like, what's the point? Every single lethal injection, you have to make sure it's a brand new needle out of the pack? Why? Are you worried he's going to catch something else before you kill him? This doesn't make sense to me, man. You could save a lot of money in the last 30 years out of America, especially, yeah, I guess America wouldn't really be here. Yeah, that's one thing. That's me getting high, solving America's deficit issue by not using clean needles. Other thoughts. Cocaine is getting mundane. You can use a crazy straw. That livens it up quite a bit. That's cool. Don't use paper straws. They fall apart pretty quick, depending on the quality of your cocaine. Another thought. Any picture of a guy named Richard is a dick pic. So, it's a grower. Come on, guys. Yeah, you can do that. All right, I'll just share one more with you. Because since you guys are loving these. Anybody else? I love fish and chips, as you can probably tell. But I don't get the takeout. Like, why do they still wrap our fish in newspapers? Like, is there nothing else that can help with these, like, that can keep fish fillets warm or something? Like, I feel like maybe they have a secret deal with print media. It's the only way newspapers are staying alive these days, because who reads a newspaper, man? That's how I get my news. Just order fish and chips. I'm reading about the latest, like, mass murder while I'm dipping my fillets into tartar sauce. Yeah, that's depressing. Then I have, like, the latest headline running through my blood veins because they're imprinted on the fish. You guys don't get as high as me, eh? I'm hoping you people at home are getting really high right now and are understanding exactly what I'm saying. Enough of me. Let's get this show started. Anyway, you guys ready for a good show? Come on. Give it up. We have a lot of super talented comedians here tonight. I'm going to bring up my first one. Good friend of mine. Absolutely love this dude and love seeing him around at all the mics. He's always working hard. Please give a warm hand, and you people at home, you better be clapping too, for Jeremiah.
How are we doing? How are we doing? I've been doing pretty good. I've been doing the online dating recently. So far, I've gotten 3 messages from the Plenty of Fish team. They said, "You're suspended." I was like, "You want to hang out or what?" I got girl advice from my grandfather. This dude, he abandoned my mom when she was 2 years old, and then he went on to get 7 women pregnant. So when he had the audacity to come to our house to talk to my mom, I took him outside. I said, "Don't you dare come in until you teach me your ways." But like the thing is with this dude is he like, okay, and I don't listen to women for advice on women. Think of it this way, okay? You're going fishing. Do you listen to the fish or the fish who got 7 women pregnant? I don't know. I don't know who I'm listening to. JR was talking about weddings. He was talking about how tired he's gonna be when he's like, after his whole wedding day. And I'll be a good friend. I'll fuck your wife for you. I'll be. That's okay. Yeah. I went to this actual wedding recently, and the bride was saying, "Oh, they're doing the daddy-daughter dance," and the bride said, "My dad and we've been practicing this dance since I was a little girl, and they were so well coordinated. They were so good at grinding." You just what was that reaction? Nasty. What boring weddings do you go to? What's your favorite holiday? Christmas? What's so good about Christmas? Santa? I have something to break for you. I have something to tell you. Santa is, he's not real. Did you know that? No? You're really happy. You just got devastating news. What about you? What's your favorite holiday? Your birthday? What's so good about birthdays? Presents? Both. An excuse. I could just get drunk tonight. I don't think you need an excuse. I always find it weird when people are like, "We need an excuse to get drunk." Like, just do it. Like, I don't know. The excuse is I'm sad and I'm alone. Like, that's, I don't know. What's it gonna do? Oh yeah, there's this thing where it's like they do the bouquet toss or whatever. Like, if whichever one of the single like ladies catches the bouquet, then that means they're guaranteed marriage. But that doesn't make sense. What you should do to guarantee them marriage is you should just throw them like an engineer who's never dated anybody. If you catch that, then you'll get married. There's this thing where where if you have an outdoor wedding, you need a backup plan if it rains. My backup plan is to get a tarp so I can have somewhere to live when I get divorced. That's my thing. But I saw this other thing where you have a wedding registry, which is there's all these gifts in the wedding registry. What I'll ask for is a blender, because in that 10th year of marriage, you're gonna want good, loud, sharp blades to drown out the sound of your partner's voice, like permanently, like just fucking, like, and then be like, "Oh no, I forgot kiwis for my smoothies." I don't know. There's this thing, wedding themes. There's this thing called the rustic wedding theme, which is based on the 1800s, like homestead, where people would have wooden, handcrafted chairs and tables. Like, people are spending $80,000 so they can look poor. I don't understand it. And there's people who have Disney weddings. Those people need to die. These people get married at Disneyland and then have a honeymoon in Disney World. Like, did you know if you mention Universal Studios at these weddings, they will burn you at the stake for blasphemy? They will, God, it's crazy, man. These people, I feel like Disney people, they either don't know what sex is or they have sex that Pornhub says this isn't okay. Like, they must. So what kind of sex do you guys have? No, I'm not. That's you guys too much. This is a couple here. Yeah, where'd you guys meet? At a train station. Who approached who? You said, "Yes, I have a dick that you." What do you need help with? You bought her a ticket? Yeah. Oh, okay. And then what happened next? You fucked her. Wow, I need to do that strategy. I'll just wait for girls who don't have money, and I was like, I can help you. I will brainwash girls to forget that they know how to use the ticket station, so I can. Okay, that's Don't. I didn't. This is live stream. Fuck. Okay. Here's the thing with proposals. How come every time people do generic proposals, like every time a woman gets proposed to, she does this shit. Every single time she does this shit. She does. Every time a woman gets proposed to, she puts the mic in the mic stand. I don't understand. No, but like, why? What is this? Like, and every guy, he always does the one knee, and then he like puts up the ring. Right? Well, I'll be different if I don't get proposed, and I'm a guy. I will get on my knees and I will suck her dick. I'll do it. No, I'm not getting on my knees. That's generic. I will stand. I'll give a standing blowjob to. And if I'm a woman and I'm not gonna be like, yes, I'm not gonna do that. I'll be like, fuck you, no. Like that's what I do. Fucking proposal, so lame. What was I? Oh yeah, I was talking about dating. Guys, I like going to the club to get girls, but the club is so loud that when you're talking to girls, it's like so loud that you have to yell at them, right? I don't want to yell at you when I first meet you, okay? I want to save the yelling for in front of our kids. That's what that's what I want to do. I don't know. I was talking to this one girl, and she said, "Oh, I couldn't get it." So I talked to her friend. She said, "Honey, I'm nobody's consolation prize." I said, "Yeah, I know. You're a participation trophy. What are you?" That's a fun one, right? What are you guys together? Sure, like dating or friends? Oh, we're friends. Where'd you guys meet? Playing hockey. What's so fun about hockey? It's Canadian. I think poutine's Canadian, but I wouldn't describe it as fun. Like, there's nothing fun. I guess hockey is the only thing that we have. I'm just gonna riff. This is new for me. Hockey. Okay, I used to play hockey when I was in school. I think of myself like there's this thing where it's like, oh, you're a rebound guy. But I don't think of myself as a rebound guy. I'm more of a penalty shot guy because I'm only used when there's been a mistake. Yeah. Another sports analogy. Oh, I'm a free throw guy because in my entire high school career, I only got one score. Okay. Comedy snacks. Thank you.
Jeremiah, yes. Excellent. I hope you propose to me one day. I'll take a standing blowjob. I'll take a kneeling blowjob, a standing blowjob, whatever you want to give me, buddy. Yeah, I guess this is a marriage theme tonight because remember J-Lo said love don't cost a thing? Has anybody asked her 3 ex-husbands that question? Because I bet they're singing a fucking remix. Remember last year when she got engaged and everyone's like, oh, it's so cute. Yes, she found the one. It's her 4th husband, man. Fuck. I don't get it, man. Everyone's just loving that. 4th husband, and yet I got nothing else for that. That's it. That's the end of that one. What else can I waste your time with? Oh man, I was thinking this the other day, and I know like there's no. I used to work in like a call center. It's just a bunch of cubicles in an office and like hundreds and hundreds of phones. Imagine that's how sex hotlines worked. And it was just a huge office of just cubicles and women just getting guys off. Oh man, that must be a weird sounding office, the chit chat. Yeah, that's new. I won't be doing that again, so thank you for letting me know. I will throw that one out as soon as possible. What else? Oh, I like tattoos. Anybody here with tattoos? Got tattoos? Woo, tattoos are awesome. I love them. Anybody have back tattoos? You have a back tattoo? How much do you see your back tattoo, man? Exactly, that's my point. I get tattoos because I love to look at them and I love to see them and what I wasted my money on. But a back tattoo, man, that's a tough one because I'd have to walk around with like a wallet-sized pic of that tattoo. I'd pull it out every now and then. Oh, that's what I wasted all that money on. Cool. Cool, man. Yeah, let's keep the show going. Our next comedian tonight. Oh yeah, I have never seen her perform, but I'm excited. We're all just coming out of quarantine and trying this thing. So let's give it up for what I've heard is the very funny Elizabeth Eddles.
Thank you, everyone. I'm excited to be here. I always get excited about things. You guys excited? Yeah, I always get excited about things. Like when I was a kid, I was like, oh boy, I can't wait to be an adult. I'm excited, and now that I'm an adult, I'm like, oh boy, I can't wait to die. Like I don't have that much going on right now. I learned a lot about myself over quarantine. Mostly that I have been lying on my resume for many, many years now. Like pre-quarantine, it would be things like, self-motivated, go-getter, can work from home. And now that, we phased out the lockdown, it can only really be described as like Civil War era widow, because it was just a lot of like standing in front of my window and being like, when will this time end? Will any of my friends have survived? Okay, perfect. No, I was fine with quarantine. I don't know. I was fine with that. I do enjoy like a lot of the wedding talk though. That never happens on shows, wedding talk. I don't have any material. I just love weddings. Free food, free drinks. Yeah, I just love. But a little bit about myself is I'm a feminist. And thank you. I tend to get picked up a lot. Not like romantically, more like people see that I'm short, so they will literally try to pick me up. But joke's on them, because I'm actually very dense. I'm like a little bar of gold. So when guys on the street like try to pick me up, I just break their backs. And so that is how I smash patriarchy literally every day. Like I'm breaking the backs of those men. It's pretty good. So I just moved into a new place with cable. It's my parents' house. The space is like lots of space, but like the roommates aren't that cool, but that's okay. So now I get to see like commercials a lot more regularly, which has been a trip from just watching Netflix. Like I always knew commercials were like gendered, but I think they're a little intensely gendered now. Like I was watching TV and there was a Folgers coffee commercial, and it was like, Folgers coffee, the manly, bold coffee. This coffee is for the guy that likes to fuck his wife. This is for men that like to get their punch in a face with caffeine, and only pussies wear masks. And I was like, this is like really, I don't remember commercials being like this. And they try to like change the channel or fast forward, and my dad will be like, let's hear him out, Elizabeth. Let's see what he has to say. No, it's why it's weird though, because before moving back to my parents' house, I thought I was like a pretty good roommate, until I started talking about how I would be a good roommate. So I would do like these things, and it wasn't because I was a bad roommate. I'm poor. So like one time I like ate my roommate's avocado, and instead of replacing it with another $3 avocado, I just tried to convince her she didn't have one to start with. So now roommating with my parents is a lot different, because I'm like, no, there was no avocado there, and they're just like, please, Elizabeth, get out of the house. Fair. If you're watching this on live stream, the silence is just glitches from laughs in the audience. Like, it's like some weird time delay, I think. Yeah. But so now I'm like watching actual television now, which is very strange. I started watching, you guys will love this. I started watching Four Weddings. Have you guys watched Four Weddings? And the subsequent spinoff, Four Weddings Canada? Okay, I'll give you a rundown. I will give you the rundown. So what it is these four brides spend like $50,000 to win a $2,000 honeymoon, and they compete against each other, and I love it because I love drama. And so the producers will be like, we'll just pit them against each other. Like one woman will be like, my reception's in a country club because I'm only high class and everything's white, so the girls can't have any dirt on their shoes. And the next bride will be like, yeah, we're having my wedding in a swamp. But the girls compete and they rate each other, and they always tell their ratings via confessionals, which is it's so amazing, the confessionals in reality TV. So the brides are like, they want to win. They want to be the one that gets the honeymoon. So they'll be like, oh, well, I would give her 10 out of 10 for her wedding. It was so nice. Everything was perfect. But, she ran out of lobster tails before I could get my third one. So I'm going to have to give her a 2 on that. It's like, okay, well, that was not fair. But then they cut to the men, the grooms, who don't really know what's going on, because the groom's confessionals are like, oh, well, this wedding, it was okay, we got rained on and I kind of sucked, but the band played Mambo No. 5, so overall best wedding of the year. Like, I love the difference between that. Do you guys like serial killers? Yeah, I'm a big fan. I've been watching so many serial killer documentaries and serial killer podcasts. Yeah, I just love it. But it gives you a false sense of how things work, because you'll watch it on TV and you're like, I can be a detective. I can spot creepy guys, because the detectives will have their perps and they'll be like, okay, it could be her neighbor who has an alibi, or the murderer could be the kid who stands behind the building skinning cats all day. We don't know who. I'm like, those are very obvious red flags. Like, in real life, red flags are not that obvious. Everyone would be able to spot them. Like, I went on a date one time with a guy, and he said he wasn't doing water right now, and I still went on a couple more dates with him. Those are some serious red flags. But guys, this has been a really good treat. I'll hand you back to our host. Thank you so much.
Yes. Give it up again for Elizabeth Eddles, everybody. That was fantastic. I like that you brought up serial killers. Okay, that reminds me of something. I really miss serial killers, because these days we don't get serial killers. All we get is some lazy millennial mass murderers that are skinning cats, like you said. They don't deserve a Netflix special at all. Remember the days of old, when we had to follow clues for all serial killers like Son of Sam, or the Zodiac killer, who was never even caught. But remember, they had to work for it. They had to cut letters out of magazines and glue them onto paper for you. What happened to that? What happened to the arts and crafts of serial killing? We need a Pinterest for serial killers. That's what they're missing, man. That's important, man. These new killers, they don't even deserve 7-minute YouTube videos. Yeah, so that was cool that you brought that up. Anyway, I remembered that. Oh, dating sites. Yeah, I've been doing dating sites too. Jeremiah was talking about he's on some dating sites. I'm on them all. Tinder, Bumble, Craigslist. I'm on this new one. I tried out Facebook Marketplace. You guys tried that? It's actually been very good. It's been very good. Every time I put up a dick pic, someone asks, "Is this still available?" So it's always some middle-aged dude, though. I'll take what I can get. Anyway, all right. Yeah, let me bring up your next comedian as I wipe down this mic stand. I might forget to do it sometime. Don't judge me. Anyway, our next comedian, super funny dude. He's here to make you all laugh and entertain. So please put your hands together for Mr. Dusty Searcy.
Thank you, everybody. I don't mean to be a contrarian, but I'm not a fan of serial killers. I don't like them at all. So, a little bit about me. I'm from Grand Prairie, Alberta, which, if you don't know, it's a city in Alberta whose entire economy runs on oil and chewing tobacco. It's everything. Like, Grand Prairie, it's the most redneck city I've ever been in my entire life. Like, there's no such thing as a C-section baby in Grand Prairie. They only have D-section babies. You know what that is? It's when the baby drives through the vagina in a diesel truck. Like in Vancouver, when the baby's coming out, the mom's water will break. In Grand Prairie, like, coal dust comes out. Like, Bill is like, oh, he's idling. Oh, he's a Ford with a lift kit. Kid rips out like, fuck yeah, bud. He's got a fox hat and white Oakley. He's like, oh, fuck, she was tight in there, dude. Fuck, I didn't think she was going to go, but then I fucking gave her, then she went, dude. That's silly. I actually had a friend from back home call me, and he told me that after this is all over, he's pursuing his dream to become a famous jazz musician, which I was like, good luck, but your dreams have awful timing. Is your backup curing polio? Why are you going backwards in time? Like, I don't think playing jazz is dumb, but trying to get famous playing jazz is idiotic. Like, imagine being in a struggling band trying to pick a new direction, and then one of your bandmates is like, I got it. Here's how we'll make it. You're on piano, you're on cello, and I am also on cello. That's it. Such an old-fashioned move. It'd be like if the CEO of Staples was like, all right, we're not moving pens like we used to, but don't worry, we're bringing back the quill. Apparently hipsters are open to writing anxiety poems with a feather. I actually like jazz, but there's no lyrics in any of the songs, so you never know what the song's about. You never know what inspired the artist, which is kind of weird to me. Like, you assume that the song's about love or heartbreak, but he could be inspired, or she, look at me, sexist piece of shit. They could be inspired by anything, you know? It could be awful. You could be giving a sax player a standing ovation. He'll go, thank you. That riff was dedicated to Ted Bundy. Remember, there's two sides to every story. All right, this next little ditty's called Jeffrey Epstein Was Misunderstood. You're like, this guy's a bad person, I think. It's interesting how two people can listen to the same lyrics and interpret them completely differently. Like, do you guys remember the song Low by Flo Rida? The apple bottom jeans, boots with a fur? Yeah, 2008's buttery jingle of the year. I love that song. The rest of that hook goes, the whole club's looking at her. She hit the flow. Next thing you know, shawty got low, low, low. My stepdad thought got low meant suck dick. I think he was projecting, to be honest. They're all sucking dick. And I was like, that's not what got low means. Like, I might just be a 14-year-old naive virgin, but I'm pretty sure got low meant reverse cowgirl. Obviously, it's just dancing. She was just dancing on the dance floor. But I like imagining what that music video would be if my stepdad was right. Like, you know, shawty's at the dance floor with her apple-bottom jeans and furry boots. And then while everybody's watching her, she walks onto the dance floor and is like, take it out. That joke will get there one day. Couple more nights. So I passed a lot of the time in this whole quarantine biz. I was listening to a lot of music, and I have some friends that just did drugs to pass the time, which if you pick the right drug, that could be a good move. You know, like, I think potheads, they were fine. They had snacks, Netflix, they're sitting on the couch. That's a pothead's nirvana right there. They've made it. But cokeheads had to do lines, then bake sourdough. Just, that seems like a tough lifestyle, just checking the oven every 10 seconds like, fucking rise! They cut this starter with bullshit! Yeah. I've never done coke, but I was raised in Grand Prairie, so we've met. We've crossed paths before. The first time I ever saw coke, I was 19. I was at a party. I didn't know anybody. And I just talked to this couple, and we had a mutual friend. And they're like, oh, you know, our friend Corey was having a party, he was having a bunch of people over to watch a hockey game, and they're like, just come with us, we're driving. And I was like, are you drunk? And they're like, no, I'm not drunk, which I mistook for sober. I didn't realize that there was semantics at play. I didn't realize that, no, I'm not drunk. I'm fucked up, but I'm not drunk. No. It's like if your roommate was like, did you eat all my pizza? And you can say no, because technically one slice fell in the toilet. Like, well, no, technically I didn't eat it all. It's all gone because of me, but that's a totally different thing. So I said yes, I went with them, and then we're driving, and the driver's driving very fast, but I don't think she's on coke. I think she just is a big LA Kings fan. I think she doesn't want to miss the first period. And so out of nowhere, she pulls into a motel parking lot. Like, didn't say, hey, we're taking a short. She just pulled right into this creepy motel parking lot and just shut the car off. And I was like, oh no, Corey got evicted. That was my first thought. I was like, these hockey parties on school nights have gotten out of control. That's what happened. And then this big black jacked up truck drove up beside us, and this dude rolled down the window, and he looked like Pitbull if you'd remove the sunglasses and replace them with Steve Buscemi's eyes. That's what he looked like. And he handed her a brown paper bag and drove off, and I was like, okay, now I know what's going on. We just bought weed for the party. Okay. I know what's happening. And I just felt a little weird because I'd been a part of those creepy parking lot weed drug deals, but when I've done them, the drug dealer was just a kid on a bicycle. He wasn't in a jacked up truck, but I was like, maybe he's been doing it for a while? I don't know. So I was like, it's weed. And then all of a sudden, she just pulled out this white baggie, and it was just filled with coke, put it on the armrest. And then this is how I knew I was in the most basic like coke situation I've ever seen, which was her boyfriend started playing Mr. Boombastic off his phone, and then they started cutting Pinky Thick Rails on a Nickelback CD case. Yeah, for doing cocaine, that's as pure of a setting as you can get. Like, it doesn't get any more, doing cocaine. Like, if doing cocaine was a video game, that would be the level that shows you what all the buttons do. Like, press A to pitch a business idea. Press B to offer coke to the nervous stranger in the back seat. If he refuses, hold X to call him a pussy. All right. Is that 8 minutes? I got a minute? I don't want a minute. Do what I got. I only have a really offensive joke, and I'm a fucking dark comedian. Actually, I don't even want to do it anymore. Come on. All right. I'm a sucker. I'll do it for one guy in the whole... That's how desperate comics are. Like 80 people could be going, boo, we don't want to hear it. One guy's like, I wouldn't mind. I'm like, you're my guy. All right. So I grew up in GP, and kids were pieces of shit there. But I think this was Canada-wide that this happened, which... I remember when I was in grade school and my class learned about Terry Fox. We watched this documentary about how he lost his leg to cancer and how he ran across Canada to raise awareness and money. And it was a really heartfelt documentary. And then afterwards, our teacher let us out to go, like do the Terry Fox run. And every kid in my class fucking did the run like this. Without even talking about it beforehand. Every kid just knew, like, this is going to be funny. And nobody was shy. We were going past the teacher like, Miss Strilchuk, who am I? Who am I? And she's like, I think they missed the point of the documentary. And I remember people were standing on their porches just staring at us. They were calling the Terry Fox Foundation like, yeah, cancel my pledge. Yeah, I don't want to fix cancer before these assholes have a chance to get it. All right, you guys have been very fun. Bye.
There you go. Most of my job now is just reminding comedians to take the condoms off of microphones. It's not something we're used to, putting them on or taking them off. Goes both ways. Anyway. Hey-o. You guys still alive? You guys still here? Woo! Give it up again for Dusty. That was absolutely hilarious. And yes, I spent the whole quarantine doing pot. I cooked no sourdough. But the images on Facebook were fun to watch and look at. Everybody was cooking with sourdough, man. That was just the thing, eh? That was like, remember pulled pork back in 2017? It was like just this huge flux of everybody wanting pulled pork, and this year is the summer of sourdough and pandemics. Anyway, I'm just rambling now, guys. Woo! What do we got next? With anything else? No, I think I'll just bring up the next comic. Super hilarious. She's all fresh out of quarantine. Please put your hands together for the fabulous Nancy Ho.
This mic is tall. All right. My name is Nancy Ho, and I feel like my last name is very special. I am Vietnamese, and I don't know if you guys know much about the Vietnamese language, because there are a lot of words that are fucked in translation. Has anyone here ever been to Vietnam? Do you remember what the currency is called? The dong. That's right. We pay people in dongs in Vietnam. It's I don't know if you've read. Oh, there's been a lot in the news recently, but there's been some people who find the Vietnamese language offensive. There's actually a professor in California who wanted he had asked a student of his to anglicize her name because it was difficult to pronounce and offensive in English. And now I empathize with this a little bit because my Vietnamese name is fucked up. And my parents wanted me to fit in a little bit more and be, you know, Western when we came here. And they gave me an old white woman's name. Do you know any Nancys? Probably not, because they're dead. At least they did not name me Karen, so I'll take that. But I empathize with this, and my family actually they don't call me Nancy, they call me by my Vietnamese name, which I don't think is that offensive, but my Vietnamese name is Young Ho. Could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. But my cousin, he did not get an English name. My uncle and aunt are proud Vietnamese people, and he uses his Vietnamese name. But his Vietnamese name has a very nice meaning. It actually means good fortune. And in Vietnamese, you pronounce it Phuc. In English, it could be pronounced as Phuc, P-H-U-C. So he actually doesn't use his first name. He uses his middle name, Dat. His full name is Fuck That Ho. Yeah, so not ideal. But, I find it's unfortunate that I had to change my name because to fit in. And, I feel like there is a problem that we don't have enough diversity and enough diversity in media. Because you know what I find offensive? I find it offensive that I thought I was going to grow up to become white. I literally thought that once you hit puberty, you turn white, which doesn't happen. Because I wanted to really enjoy all the things that white people enjoy, like hot yoga and farmers markets, camping. And maybe one of these days, I would be open to dating an Asian girl. Yeah, dating. I know, Elizabeth, you talked a little bit about dating. Jeremiah. I actually went through a bit of a COVID breakup during this pandemic, which super sucks because now I really have to focus on how good my eyes look. But masks aren't such a bad thing because, if you're like a 5 or a 6, you're like a solid 8, right? But I think what makes it harder during these COVID times, dating during regular times is hard enough. But in COVID times, I can't even resort to how to get over this breakup because, my tried, tested, and true method of what I call healing through whoring. Really, really, filling your, trying to help your sense of self-worth one cock at a time. It's just not going to happen, unless you listen to the CDC and I don't know if you guys saw this, but they put out new, you read about this? They put out new guidelines around like safe sex during COVID. And, they're like, for example, you should use a glory hole. But yeah, so, that's tough. But I think the hard part for me about being single isn't like the dating part. It's, it is what it is. But it's really the questions that people ask you. When they're like, oh, Nancy, you seem like you're kind of cute and smart and sometimes funny. I don't get it. I'm like, why are you single? It's like, just ask me. What the fuck is wrong with you? Just be honest. I can take it. But, I have been known to make bad decisions dating. And Elizabeth talked about this, about red flags. And sometimes, when you just want to date someone because they're hot or whatever reason it is, and you make up excuses for these things. I myself have made lots of bad decisions. I have not dated not one, but 2 homeless men. Okay, I can't even believe I'm admitting this. But yeah, so just because they're homeless doesn't mean they're not hot, okay? And it is really goddamn expensive to live in Vancouver, so I'm not going to give myself a hard time about it. But there were some red flags that I ignored. And, it's not like in the beginning when you first, if you meet them online and you just text and you haven't met them in person and you're like, oh my God, I don't like how this dude texts. He can't spell. But once you meet them and they're hot and you're like, whoa, okay, that doesn't matter. But these red flags I should have been well aware of. The first one's obvious. He always invited himself over to my place. I never saw his place, but I guess making out at my place is much more comfortable than a park bench. When he would randomly ask me for spare change all the time. And, I thought it was for the parking meter, but he doesn't have a car, he has a cart. And, whenever we had drinks at my place, he always collected the bottles. So, big red flags I should have listened to. But I don't need to be dating homeless men. COVID's keeping me from dating anyways. And because I have a freeloading roommate at home. He's freaking brutal. He expects me to cook and clean for him and do his laundry. I've tried to have him kicked out, but there are some strict laws against it. It's actually really hard because he's my son. He's 11 years old. So I'll leave you with one last thought, a COVID thought that I didn't think I would ever think about. It's the new normal. I never really thought that I would be farting to cover up a cough. Anyway, that's all I got tonight. Thank you so much. I'll take my prophylactic. Thank you.
All right, give it up one more time for Nancy Ho, or Young Ho. She's not the first Young Ho I've seen. And don't knock making out on park benches until you try it. Waiting for the bus can be lonely. That was excellent. Thank you. That was wonderful. Everyone's so nervous about doing comedy coming out of quarantine, but you guys have been great, so I love it. We're going to keep this going. Let's keep this momentum going. Please give it up for our next comedian, Mr. Stephen Geraldine.
Can we give it up for our host, everybody? Can we do that? Sweet. Can you keep it going for all the other comics you see on the show so far? Very good. How are we doing tonight? We still feeling good? We still got some energy in us? Yeah, that's good. That's good. So I guess this is my first time on stage in a few months, so I'll just start talking and we'll see how it goes. I've been watching porn more often, and I realized when someone is wearing a Band-Aid in porn, it ruins it for everybody. It adds mystery to something that doesn't need mystery at all. I'm watching it and I see the Band-Aid on the guy's arm and I'm like, is he a good guy? Was he donating blood today? Is he on drugs? Like, I don't know. Like, why am I thinking? I shouldn't be thinking. I should be, and I'm thinking too much. Like, I mean, like even a big mole or like a birthmark, that's enough of a distraction where I'm like, oh, fuck, what's that? And like but a Band-Aid, it's not a game of Clue. I like my porn classic. I just went the 3 steps, you know what I mean? Maybe a little bit of head, some penetration, a cum shot, and I'm done. That's all I want. I don't want to be fucking reading into Band-Aids. I've been watching too much porn. So, quarantine's been weird. I haven't been able to see my therapist, but I was seeing a therapist before, and I was learning a lot about myself, and I don't like what I was learning. But I found out I have low self-esteem and low self-worth, and I found out because I was telling her a story, and she said, well, this is alarming, and if a doctor ever says that, it's definitely not good. What happened was I told her a story. It was back in the summer. My ex-girlfriend and I, we broke up, and we were living in the same building. And we made a decision that we would continue to have sex with each other. And that's never a good idea. You know what I mean? So she would, like I lived in the downstairs, she lived upstairs, and she would call me and she'd be like, hey, come fuck me. And I'd be like, okay, I'll come fuck you. And she'd be like, she'd just do this, text me, call me, whatever. And then one day, she calls me and she says, come fuck me. And I said, no, I can't. I'm sick. Like, I'm all congested. Like, I can't. You know what I mean? Like, I want to, but I can't. And she said, please. And I was like, okay. And, but I was like, one thing. I was like, one rule. I'm not going to go down on you because I can't breathe out of my nose. I'll die. Like, that's the only thing I'm asking for. It's difficult enough to breathe right now. I can't do that. And she was like, okay. But like, I knew this girl, when you date someone, you know their sexual preferences. I knew she'd push for that, So I go up there and I'm like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And so we start fooling around. She takes off her bra. She was partying the night before. There was like a fucking $5 bill stuck to her tits. She just threw it on the ground. And it was fucking weird. And, so then we started fucking, and 10 minutes into it, maybe 20 minutes into it, she goes, oh, go down on me. I'm like, I fucking knew it. I was like, I can't. She's like, please. I was like, I can't. I'll die. She was like, I'm okay with that. I was like, no. I was like, I can't. And she was like, please, 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 please. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. And she's like, I'll pay you. And I was like, how much? And she pointed to the $5 bill that she pulled off her tit. And I was like, and I made quick work of that shit. And that's why, you guys are laughing, but, that's where I put my self-worth. I put my self-worth at $5. That's sad. It's very sad. But I'm a positive guy, so I like to put a positive spin on these types of things, right? So I said, you know what? I put a low self-worth on myself, Stephen. But the good thing is that I know if I'm ever broke, there's a lady upstairs that'll pay me $5 to lick her pussy. So in reality, it's not the fucking worst situation to be in the world, right? But that wasn't the reason I had to move away. The reason I had to move away was because our relationship was getting a little out of control. She was a bit of a boozy Susie. She liked to drink, and she would show. I was on the main floor, so I had an entrance from the street, and I'm a forgetful guy, and she would just walk into my apartment all the time when I'd be sleeping and stuff, and then try and fuck at me. And so it happened quite often to the point where I was like, this needs to stop. And then one night I woke up and she was I just kind of felt it felt like a cat was crawling on my bed, and she was naked in my bed next to me. And I was like, what the fuck? You can't do that. Not okay. And so I called my buddy the next day. And I tell him, I'm like, man, can you fucking believe this? This is fucking crazy. This is not okay. And he literally just went, sorry, Steve, can you call me when you have a real problem? Women crawling into your bed trying to fuck you doesn't sound like it's the worst fucking problem to have. But I can see his point. But ladies, if that was you, if you were in the same situation and I was just crawling into, if I followed you home tonight, if I followed you home And I saw it, like your light went off in your bedroom, and then like I snuck in, and then like I took off my clothes and I got into bed with you. You woke up, you'd be like, "What the fuck? I'm calling the cops!" And I couldn't just be like, "No, shh, it's okay. My ex-girlfriend does this all the time. It's completely normal." No, I'm not gonna get away with that. It's fucking insane. So I had to move. That's what happened during quarantine. Yeah, I've had terrible luck in the past with women. I went on a Tinder date. Everyone's got a Tinder story, right? I went on a Tinder date once with a lady, and it was going pretty well. And we went back to her place, and we started fooling around. That's always nice, right? It was having a little fun. And she goes, "Steve, I'll not have sex with you for 5 dates." I said, "You know what? I respect that. You respect yourself. You're setting boundaries, right? Boundaries, that's a good word. I learned that one in rehab, boundaries." And she said, "I'll not fuck you for the first 5 dates." But then immediately following that, she said, "But can I suck your dick?" And I was like, and she was like, "I'm really good at it." And I was like, "What happened to the boundaries? Those went out the window fairly quickly. You didn't really jump to that. Fuck." And I said, I was like, well, I just want to tell you this. First of all, folks, you never have to ask a man if you can suck his dick. And you definitely don't need to follow it up with, "I'm really good at it." Blowjobs don't need a sales pitch, folks. They sell themselves. It's not the Dragon's Den. You don't want to walk in like, "Blowjobs. Do you want one? They're wet. They're warm. They're not your hand." Stop asking. Just do it. I'll tell you one last thing. I went through a bad breakup once, and this one was bad. I left the province. That's how bad it was. And what happened was, it was so bad, and because we really loved each other and stuff, and we could both tell the relationship was coming to an end. You know, that spark was gone. That thing, love, that was gone. And but she was like, she could tell, and she was like, "Steve, why don't we try something? We'll spice things up. We'll try something new." And I said, "Sure, absolutely. What do you have in mind?" She said, "What about a threesome?" I said, "Fuck yes, I'm a dude. Absolutely, I would love that." And then she said, "One thing." I said, "What's that?" She said, "It's got to be with another dude." And I was like, "No. I was like, "I can't do that. I love you. I couldn't watch you get fucked by another dude. I would get too jealous. I love you. I care about you." And she was like, "Well, I want to get pampered by 2 dicks." And I was like, my answer was way more romantic, but whatever. But like I said, I love this girl, so I wanted to do anything to try and make it work, right? So we went out, and so I had to figure it out, right? I get too jealous. She wants to get pampered by 2 dicks or whatever. So I figured it out. Sounds crazy, but it worked. I found a nice gay guy, right? I wouldn't get jealous because he'd be more interested in me, and there'd still be 2 dicks, right? So we went out, we found a nice gay guy, we wined him, we dined him, we 69'd him. It was a lovely time. It's great. I don't talk to her anymore, but I still talk to him. He's a really nice guy. At the end of it all, she said, "Steve, there's one last thing I want you to do." And I said, "What's up, baby? I'll do anything for you. I love you." She said, I want to see him come on your chest." I said, "What?" She said, "I want to see him finish on your chest." I said, "But why?" She said, "Because you do it to me all the time, and I want you to know what it feels like." I was like, fair enough. And now that I get to the end of this story, folks, the more I think about it, it's not really a joke. It's just something I've really been needing to get off my chest. So thank you, folks. You guys have been great. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Give it up one more time for Steven. Woo! That was hilarious. Imagine what he'd do for a 10. That's a low price, man. You should value yourself a little more. All right. We have one more for you. You guys ready for this? This is a treat. We have a special comedian here tonight. I haven't seen her work yet, but I've heard lots of good things, and I'm super excited to have her here for you guys and for Comedy Snacks and for all you people at home. Also, on the Vancouvercomedy.ca website, if you see a little donate button there and you want to donate to anybody towards the show, anything at all, feel free to do so. We appreciate it. Like I said, all these comedians have been stuck in quarantine, most of them not working, like a lot of people. But if you can spare anything, it's great, and we'll make sure it goes to the right person. Enough of me right now. Let's bring up our final comic for the night. Please, everybody, put your hands together for Amanda Smith.
I see how it is. Ask for money and then bring on the paraplegic. Like, okay, 1 second, sorry. Condom. So the guy I'm seeing always tells me when he's going for walks, just because. I find it weird that he always tells me when he does something that I can't do, so I tell him every time I touch my vagina. How, round of applause if you feel like you had a shitty quarantine. Okay, cool. On March 11th, I got paralyzed for the rest of my life. It's okay. But yeah, that was how my quarantine was. Everybody was making sourdough and playing Animal Crossing, and I was learning how to pull shit out of my ass. Okay, so my bowels and bladder don't work, to explain that. Neither does my vagina. I actually don't touch it. I'm lying about that last part. It's all weird. I haven't, I'm scared to, okay. Anyways, so basically, my personality before this all happened is that I was very, kind of thought the whole world revolved around me, and I was really trying really hard to think that it didn't. And then on March 11th, I had a work accident, and I was told I would be paralyzed for the rest of my life. And then the world literally stopped. Everything shut down, everything halted, businesses closed, everything. And I was trying to think that the world didn't revolve around me. It was basically like if for years, all the leftists were trying to convince Trump he was a rapist, and then all of a sudden they were just like, here's another daughter you can grab in photos. Okay, I realize I just compared myself to Trump, but it's just because I also had stupid people donate to my campaign. That guy I'm seeing told me that he thinks that swallowing will fix my spinal cord. And the worst part is I've been swallowing his semen for 3 years. So that just means the only reason why he would say that is because he actually believes it. He also believes the earth is flat. Okay. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, fuck, this is online. All of the AA meetings I used to go to are not wheelchair accessible, but bars are. I could get a relationship with a higher power, or I could tell everybody that God didn't think I was worthy of feeling my legs and get free shots of Jameson. So I do the last part. Well, this is clearly going well. You're from Regina? What high school did you go to? Oh, okay. Yeah, we wouldn't be friends. I just saw you over there. I can't see what you look like, so I was trying to figure out this whole time. Do I know her? Anyways, I'm from Regina. They probably felt obligated to put something about me in one of the newspapers there at one point, just because I was injured in film, so people actually cared because it was on the set of a show. Anyways, it was stupid. I don't know. I was doing jokes. I don't know why I decided to stop doing that. Okay, so so I can't feel my vagina, but I do booty call people when I'm drunk. Still. And I don't really know why I do that. Nobody's really taking me up on the call, but what would happen if they did? I would just give them a sad hand job. And then they'd go home defeated because they sleep in a twin bed. Because, by the way, that's another thing about being paralyzed. You automatically start sleeping in a twin bed again. I'm in a wheelchair and sleep in a twin bed. I'm basically your 95-year-old grandmother, except she has more orgasms. Yeah, but like being a sexual object was not being viewed as a sexual object is not a new thing for me. Guys would sleep with me before, but like once. And then as soon as they had to have a conversation with me, like you could see them die inside, and then, it wouldn't happen again. So I felt that caused me to fall in love with every guy that I've slept with more than once. And it's like, it's one thing dating a guy that won't introduce you to his parents, but it's one thing dating a guy that won't introduce you to himself. You know? Fuck. So I have a caregiver that, why am I doing all these jokes I hate? I've told 3 people tonight I hate all these jokes and I'm doing them. Okay, so I have a caregiver that is supposed to come over to my house just in case I fall in the shower. And so I fell in the shower and she couldn't help me get out of the shower, so we had to call the fire department. You guys can like be happy. You're allowed to be happy while I'm here. Like, it's okay. Like, it's been a few months. I haven't killed myself yet. I'm giving myself at least 10 years. We'll be fine. Anyway, whatever. All I know is I was naked on the floor, and then like 2 firefighters like came and like had to pick me up and put me back in my chair. Like, all they had to do was lift me like 30 inches. Like, I don't know why I needed a fire department, but like I couldn't do that. But all of my fantasies did come true, at least, except for the fact that there was like a Slovakian lady in the background just watching. Fuck. I don't. Did you? Yeah, you gave me the light, thank God. Fuck. I had, you know what? I'm throwing in the towel. Where the hell is that mic stand?
Thank you, Amanda. Give it up. All right. Give it up for all your comedians tonight, everybody. Fantastic. Did you guys have a good time? You guys all right? Yes. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all at home. Thanks to the Havana Theatre. Make sure to support them. They're doing such an awesome thing here by giving us a place to tell jokes and try to come out of quarantine and try to make you guys laugh. It's not always the easiest thing, but it is great when a club supports you that much. Besides that, I think that's all I have to say this week. That's our show. Thank you guys for coming out. We're here every Thursday at 8 p.m., so make sure to check it out online. And if you want to come by again, please. It'd be our pleasure. Thank you guys, and bye everybody at home too. Woo!